There we go. Awesome. So we were just talking to Sarah, and she was saying that because this isn't the all or nothing, the all in mindset or the fast result mindset, I'm kind of back framing with a extremely long story that actually had zero like benefit, I think, to what I wanted to say to Sarah in the first place. So everybody who's watching from the recording, you're lucky you don't have to waste your last 2 minutes of your life. But for Sarah, because that you feel like, you needed something different, I think this is exactly what you need, right? Is this slower approach. And this is like the craziest thing in the world. So who here is trying to lose like 5 pounds? Everyone wants to lose at least 5 pounds, right? Maybe 10. And if you're like, if you guys can, because I can't see everybody's camera, like go into the reactions and put the hand up, like 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, like it doesn't matter. Like we're just gonna go up, right? Like to 100. Okay. Here's the weirdest shit in the world. If I had a program right now that says like lose 35 pounds and never put it back on for the rest of your life, who wants to sign up for that program? Right? Okay. Yeah, 20 pounds. Like lose 20 pounds and never put on for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, if I had another program that says I lose 20 pounds in 20 days, who's signing up for that program first? Everybody, right? Like you get the result, but faster, sold, right? But also, what I know now after like, fucking up for about a decade is that every time that you make trade-offs, right? So if you're trading time, you're doing something for 20 days that's not realistic, right? Does that make sense? So for you guys that, like have done the quick fixes, you've done the detoxes, you've done the, oh my gosh, I hate saying things, but there's so many things that come to mind, like isogenics, Arbonne, like Beachbody, like these 21-day fixes, like just like in the marketing, in the name, you guys like know why like their stuff is like, so I mean it adds up, it builds up, it's expensive. Um, but they have like the marketing behind to like literally say things to get you to do these things, right? Um, so for anybody who's coming in looking for a quick fix, I'm like, all right, well, what if you actually like lost the weight? And then what if like you lose the weight at 37 years old? You're like, you say you're 37 now. It takes you one full calendar year of you doing some work. It takes effort, it takes energy, it takes strategy, it takes like setting down, time and to kind of reevaluate your experiences. It might even take like some really hard, deep conversations about your identity and who you show up with day in and day out. Like, and then, but what if you lost it in one calendar year at 38? Who's older than 38 here? Just curious. I'm not, but for sake of raising your hand, raise your hand. Who's older than 38? So, Kim, if you would have solved this problem at 38, how much time, energy, effort, and money would you save to have that problem solved for you by however old you are?
A
So,
lot.
and that's what like it blows my mind because like, oh shit, like, well, if we solve this not today, I'm not saying 21 days is enough time to solve this. 30 days isn't enough. 45 days. Like, all right, we're a month and a half, right? Like, how long are we gonna have to fucking work at this? I want you guys to like commit to making effort and energy towards your goal for a minimum of 6 months. 6 months. And the crazy thing is, like, if you commit to just being healthier, happier, healthier, for 6 months and love the process, you could probably lose a substantial amount of money, substantial amount of weight during that time. Okay. Like, people that we do the coaching with typically is between 25 and 35 pounds in 6 months. But I've also had people who lost nothing in 6 months. But then after that 6 month mark, they've built like trust in themselves, like trust in their word. So what they say they're going to do, they're going to do it. And then in the next 6 months, they lose like 50 or 40 or 35 again. Like it's crazy. But what I want you guys to know is if you do it through like being healthy and having a good relationship and actually like doing the boring work that it takes to have success on the scale. That's the difference of like losing the weight and gaining it back, losing the weight and gaining it back, losing the weight and gaining it back. And like, granted, I probably entered the weight loss game earlier than, you know, most, because like I had insecurities from the second I graduated college. Actually, like my freshman year of college, I got fat. And the only reason I use those words towards myself is because that's what people called me. No shit, I got back from, it was going into my sophomore year of college, and I was playing at a poker tournament, a fundraiser for our football team. And I was sitting with our head football coach at the time, and he goes, "Man, Ryan, I wish you were that size when you were a senior. Could have put you on the line." And I'm like, "Cool, thanks." And like, how am I supposed to react to that as like a 19-year-old kid? And then those are the kind of insecurities that just stayed with me forever. So what I want you guys to know is like your plan is going to change. Seasons of your life are going to change. That's what I want to really talk about tonight. I want you guys to like kind of look at this as the more of a macro, big picture of who do you want to be, who do you want to show up 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Because everybody who's in this room, everybody who's watching this live, watching this replay, it says I'm live on Facebook, but I don't think I am. Oh, maybe I am. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. Sorry. I gotta silence it. But I want you guys to actually like think about this. Figure it out now so that you don't have to figure it out 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. Like, solve your shit now, have the tools and strategies to, you know, have faith in now. So you're not going to dedicate time, energy, and effort into figuring it out anymore. Because that's where I spent all my energy, was trying to figure it out. I was reading more books. I was on more posts. I listened to podcasts. I was talking to people that were dietitians, nutritionists. I was going, you know, talking to my mom, who's got like a naturopath doctor before naturopath doctors were a thing, right? Like, I was trying to figure out these things, and like I spent so much energy reading and never really actually doing anything. And then when I would do something, it would be something like, "Ryan, what do you think about this?" And I would just try it for a client. Be like, "What do you think about Whole30? I don't know. Let me try it. What do you think about keto? Let me try it. What do you think about this like fat loss pill? Like, I don't know. Let me try it." And that was just an experiment. And like, good thing is, I got a lot of experience. I also have a lot of experience feeling like shit, right? And like, that's where I want you guys to be able to dig yourself out of now, so that you can go have the rest of your life to never have to worry about this shit. Throw your hand up in the air. Give me some clap. Give me some fire in the chat. Something, if that's what you want, actually. Or I can just, if you guys want to, I like running challenges. Let's just run a quarterly challenge. You hop in here for 21 days. You pick your 3 anchors. You show up for 21 days. You struggle for the next 50 days, but that's okay. Ryan's starting a challenge in the next 10 days. And I'm just going to do this like this never-ending cycle for the rest of my life. If you want that, I'm going to recommend a therapist, because we got to do some more inner work. All right. I don't want you guys to need me. All right. That's the whole point of, you know, me and these challenges, is that you don't need me anymore. You're not looking for another thing. You just refine your plan over and over. So that's what I want to do. And the challenge with challenges that I struggle with is that Nikki's plan, your plan is different than Kim. Kim, your plan is different than Sherry. Sherry, your plan is different than Amy. Jordan, your plan is not like any of those people. Caitlin, you're not even in the same boat as 90% of these people, because you don't eat like animal products. And I'm like, that's fine. But you guys there's similarities, and there's a phase to go through it, but you're all on different plans. You guys understand that you're all on different plans? All right, cool. So how do you figure out what you should do on your plan? That's what the goal is for tonight. Fair? If you guys hung out with me for another 20 minutes and knew exactly how to adapt your plan, would that be a win? Let me know in the chat if that'd be a win. Angela, what's up? You're on the Facebook. I love it. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Nikki. Awesome. Awesome. We got some flex, fire, and 100% signs. Jordan, thank you. Awesome. Let's do it. So first of all, before we get started, we're going to do some woohoo exercise. This is big picture shit right here. All right. This is the kind of stuff that makes me cry. So if you're watching a recording, you want to see a 34-year-old dad of 2 cry. You can also see me cry by watching the movie Onward on Disney now. So it's literally about this boy that never met his dad, and like instantly super sad. He gets like the opportunity to see him, and oh my god, waterworks. I'm freaking emotional all the time now. Didn't see that coming when I had kids. Anywho, what I want you guys to do is you need to visualize the best version of yourself. Everything that you hope to become. I need crystal clarity. Okay. So I want you guys to be able to envision the best version of yourself sitting right here next to you. So if you guys want to keep your cameras on, you can. I'm going to close my eyes, but no one's watching on here. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Okay. I don't know if Megan's still with us. I think, yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Megan, you're
not
yeah,
closing them.
don't close your eyes. But you guys can get so much value out of this. I want you guys, it actually, let's just for the sake of like privacy for now, I want you to turn off your cameras. Okay. So I don't want any reason for you to not show up as your true authentic self right now. I don't want cameras to be the barrier for that to happen. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, take a huge inhale and a huge exhale. Okay. And now I want you to actually turn your head with your eyes closed, look to your right. And to your right, standing there, in all of their glory is you. But it's a little bit different of you. It's the best version of yourself, you. Everything that you'd ever hoped to dream to become. I want you to get so crystal clear that you can identify, any wrinkles that you have, any, moles, marks, birthmarks, whatever. You can see that right there on you. Okay. And we're going to start from the toes and work your way up. I want you to look down and see the best version of yourself, like how your toes look. They look like your toes. You've obviously seen them a million times, but how do they look? Are they painted? Are they freshly manicured or pedicured? Pedicure would be the term, not manicured, Ryan. Thank you. Now working your way up. What do your calves look like? What do your knees look like? What do your thighs look like? Your inner thighs, outer thighs, standing in the mirror. If you want to give your best version of yourself a twirl, what do they look like? All females here. So what does she look like? What do you look like? Your hips, thighs, butt, lower back, abs, stomach. What does your stomach look like? Chest, shoulders, neck, chin, cheekbone. In the best version of yourself, exactly what do you look like? Now I want you to actually, dress yourself in the best version of yourself. Say you guys are going to a pool, a beach, a boat. What are you wearing to the beach or the pool? What kind of sandals, what kind of flip flops are you wearing? Are your toes freshly done? What kind of swimsuit are you rocking? Are you wearing a coverall? Are you wearing a hat, sunglasses? How's your hair look? Is it up? Is it down? Are you wearing any jewelry? All right. Now change the scenario. Where are you going next? Where are you going if you're going to work? How do you show up at work? And now I want you, you're visualizing the best version of yourself. When you're at work, how do you conduct conversations? How do you conduct yourself in different situations that you're in? When you're talking to coworkers, when you're talking to potential clients, when you're talking to, people that you see every day, your boss, how do you show up in front of them? Are you, whimsical and fun? Do people gravitate towards you? Are you very intellectual and, choosing your words super wisely in front of everybody? Are you up on a pedestal compared to everybody? Or are you, kind of in the background, just grinding away, doing your job? Where do you show up? How do you show up at work every day? And then how does that version of yourself, how do they vacation? Where do they go? What do they do? What kind of car do they drive in? Getting as detailed as you can. When you are on vacation, what are you wearing? Where are you going? What are you dressed like? When you're at parties, visualize different parties that you go to throughout the year. Maybe it's a Halloween party coming up. Maybe, you got your Thanksgiving family get together, your holiday parties at work. When you go to these parties, how do you conduct yourself? Are you super happy? Are you confident? Are you comfortable in anything that you put on? Are you wearing, that dress you've only dreamed of wearing the best version of yourself? Are you staying modest? Are you flaunting stuff? Everybody is different and that's totally okay. But how are you showing up at each of those situations? And now I want you guys to take a huge inhale and a huge exhale. Oh my gosh, we're here for parents. As a parent, how do you show up when you're raising your kids at different ages? How are you, showing up for them? How are you eating in front of them? What are you eating? How do you feel about food in front of them? It's a good one to think about. All right, now I want you guys to open your eyes and I want you to turn your cameras back on. And what I want you guys to kind of visualize, so you guys have a pretty clear picture what you look like in every situation that I mentioned that ran across dresses, swimsuits, how you fit in your clothes, like going to like baseball games or soccer games or Friday night football games or whatever. Did you guys have a clear vision of what you want that to look like? If you did, awesome. Now, this is the part that always, gets me kind of choked up, is I want you guys to be very honest with yourself. Why are you not there today? Because the only person that is keeping you from becoming that best version of yourself is you. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole, okay? I understand situations. I understand busyness and life and misinformation. I understand, diagnoses and everything that could potentially happen. But I want you guys to take away everything that I just mentioned, and I want you to point all 10 fingers back at you. All right, because the thing that I love about this, if it's my fault that I don't get to show up as the best version of myself day in and day out, there's only one person that can change it. My mom is in the other room right now. I met her in Orlando. She's actually got the condo for me. So I could hang out with her. But she is in the other room. She loves me more than probably any other person on this planet. And yes, I have an older sister. Another like low-key break for me and my family dynamic. But she cannot get me to do the things that I want for myself more than I can. She wants me to be healthy. She wants me to be the best father that I could ever be. Well, she's not going to cook every meal and put every bite in my mouth. She's not going to hold me accountable, make sure I'm going for my walks. She's not going to meet me at the gym to make sure I'm there, showing up day in and day out for that. She's also not going to be there on Sundays when I want, my kids be raised with some faith, whatever that is for them. She's not going to be doing that, and she wants nothing but the best for me. I need to point all 10 fingers back at me, and I need to become that version of myself for me, because one, I think my kids deserve that version. I think my wife deserves that version of myself. And those are three of the bigger drivers in my life than even me, because they deserve to have the best father, husband in the world more than I need to have self-confidence, in my opinion. But double-edged sword, if I have self-confidence, or not double-edged sword, that's a bad verb, but if I have the most confidence in the world, won't you think that they would benefit from it? You think like my two boys are going to come up like, I wonder what self-confidence looks like. Dad's always super shy and like reserved and held back and not outgoing when he goes out. They don't know what it looks like. They model their behavior after you. So here's a super scary thing. When, and kids are sponges, by the way. And I'm talking about, my oldest is 3 right now, but when he's like 6, 7, 8, well, how does my dad eat? My dad's in pretty good shape. How does he eat? Oh, like he eats meals with me every day. Oh, awesome. He's not like distracted. He's not on his phone. He's not, watching TV, and I think if you model what you want to become, I think that's going to be an extremely beneficial thing for you and your kids. Okay. So now that I'm all emotional, man, it cracks me up, because like, it just scares me, because if I would have had kids 7 years ago and they saw me act how I acted from 25 to 34, I don't know if they'd want to like be raised by me. And that scared the shit out of me. So like, my favorite compliment in the world that people like, oh, Ryan, you've changed. Fucking better have. I was on like a short path of like a pretty like lonely life if I would have stayed on my same road I did when I was 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 is when I started figuring this shit out. All right. Okay. So yeah, here's another thing. Like, I started figuring my shit out at 27. I didn't actually get to near where I wanted to be till 33. Just some food for thought. Okay. So, but now that we've done that exercise, who feels confident in the clarity of what they ultimately want to become, the person, where they show up, their personality, the clothes and body image is obviously something that's tied with that. But do you guys have a little bit more clarity on what that looks like for you? If you do, just drop some fire in the chat or give me a thumbs up on Facebook. That would help if you guys are. Awesome. Awesome. Thumbs up. Yeses. Yeses. Awesome. Cool. Perfect. So now here is a little bit of a challenge with challenges. Got 30 of you guys. I want nothing but the best for all 30 of you. With that being said, everybody's on a different plan. And when I give advice, I don't want you to get washed. So the only advice that we should have moving forward is looking back at what we did over the previous week and then modifying for this week. So I already talked to Megan a little bit. She struggled with some of her anchors and we just modified them a little bit. So I'm going to give some broad strokes first. And if you guys have any questions, we can kind of go dive deep into those. Does that sound fair? Cool. Thumbs up. Before I go into that, I just got to tell you one thing too, because this is a analogy that just hit home for me. Is we're all on the path now from where we are today to where we want to be. Correct? That makes sense. We're on where we want to be right now is not where we are today. So inherently we need change. Correct? Correct. We are on the path now from the version of we are today to where we want to be. We're all on the same path. We're just on different parts of that path. Okay. So when people say you fall off and you need to get back on, that's the path that you got to get back on, that best version of yourself. But also now that we've done that exercise, that you guys have ultimate clarity of exactly where you want to become or who you want to become, do you think it's going to be easier to make these small decisions when it comes to oh my gosh, I don't know what to eat out. I got a Qdoba over here. I got a Wendy's over here. I got a McDonald's over here. I got a Chipotle over here. Cool. Best version of yourself. What are you showing up for? How do you look at food? Are you going to look for, the super high calorie thing? If you haven't eaten anything, maybe. But you're at a restaurant and you're, thinking about ordering, I don't know, order of cheese curd, side of fries, fish fry with, a lot of different things. Well, the simple question, does the best version of yourself order that? If so, order it. But also don't be surprised when you're shitting your brains out tomorrow. Okay. Sorry. Side note. I don't think that you guys should ever fully avoid food at all, because I don't think that's a healthy relationship, but it is easier to make a better decision when you're basing off of where you ultimately want to get to. Do you think it'd be way easier to be consistent if you constantly made that decision for the best version of yourself, rather than being very reactive to your situations of today? That's being very reactive based thinking versus a growth mindset of where you're trying to get to. Reactive, be today sucked, my employee sucked, my social situation sucked, my relationship sucked, my kids suck. I'm going to go get drunk and eat pizza. Compared to oh man, I had a rough day. My wife's mad at me. My kids are being assholes. I'm going to eat some chicken and a salad because tomorrow's a new fucking day and I want to have good energy for tomorrow. Because if another day is like today, I need more energy. I need to feel better. I need to be able to react better. Isn't that a kind of a scary thought? Has anybody ever actually laid that out for you guys? What if, this whole diet nutrition thing was literally just so you could micromanage your kids' lives or your relationships better, have a better mood through life, be less snappy. I get snappy apparently. I noticed it more in the past 3 years than ever in my life. I get snappy when I'm in a calorie deficit. And a lot of people have been in a calorie deficit for a decade. Scary shit. All right. So now if you guys are weighing every day, has anybody lost any weight so far? I know some people mentioned 3 pounds. I saw in the chat I saw somewhere. Kim, how much are you down so far?
About 2.5.
Hell yeah, in a week. I love that. So Kim, do the same plan you had last week, do it again this week and see what happens. I don't think 2.5 pounds would come up every week, but if your calories are in a healthy spot and you're hitting your goals and you feel confident with it, I want to do it another week and see how your body responds. And then based off of like 2 weeks of information, we can definitely, you know, make a plan for like 3 and then big picture moving forward. Okay. If anybody else like lost any weight, do you think it was inflammation going down? Do you think it was like food quality being more consistent? Do you think it was the added exercise? I love asking those questions too. Like, what was so different about this week? Was it the food quality? Did you literally have no fried foods? By the way, before you guys got on, I was talking to Megan and I was eating chicken out of this little guy. It's from a deli at a grocery store, the little chicken nuggies. So like before everybody, you know, tells me how good you do, just know like that's what my mom got from when she was on the road. So I was leftovers. I went golfing today. It was awesome. I feel less bloated with better food choices. Love that. So, Amy, here's a really big thing: are much better food quality and more water. Awesome. Oh shoot, we have a lot of wins in here. Oh shit. Sorry, I gotta pay attention to this chat. This chat, by the way, if you guys are not, if you're on the Facebook and you're not on here, you gotta get in this Zoom room because Sarah's winning, Jordan's winning, Sarah or Katie lost 3 pounds, Amy pound and a half. Much better food quality, more water, feel less bloated, better food choices. Protein makes such a huge difference in my hunger being curbed. Love that, Sherry. I think that's huge. Yeah, learn everything. Don't just bypass these things. Make notes of them, come back to them so that when you guys are like, also, did I ask anybody to do something super unrealistic over the past 7 days? Did I ask you to cut out carbs? Did I ask you to eat like a peasant? Did I ask you to eat like a toddler? By the way, my toddler, he's like at least 1,200 calories. If you're eating like a toddler, he's like, by the way, if you guys know my kids, Lincoln's my younger one, and he's going to be a beast. He's eating like, I swear, 2,000 calories a day already. I'm going to go broke feeding that kid. Good thing Wells doesn't eat it all, but perfect. Feeling better. Awesome. So what I want you guys to do is if you found your calories and we had the calorie conversation and you had it set to like the sedentary level and you did not lose weight. Okay. So if you lost weight, keep your plan for another week. Let's see how your body responds to week 2. If you stayed the same, I want you to decrease by another 200 or 100 to 200 calories. So if your goal was 1,700, you're just going to shift it down from 1,500 to 1,700. So you're erring on the side of trying to average around 1,600, 100 calories. 1,500 would be as low as you'd go. Does that make sense? If you guys need help with that. So if you did your BMR calculator and that's how we figured out your calories and you ate on average. So if, again, add up the 7 days, divide by 7, that's your daily average calories. So if that number was, you know, wherever it was and you did not lose weight, decrease that number by 100 to 200. Did I lose anybody? I'm not a mathematician. If someone just said numbers like that to me, I'd be like, what the fuck do you say, Ryan? I need a repeat. So if you stayed the same on the scale, your body weight is same. Now you have 7 days. If you guys did the pre-challenge call, you might have more. And I want you to average your calories over that period of time. And if you did not lose weight, I want you to decrease 100 to 200 calories. You're going to take that away from the carbs and the fat. So the protein goal stays the same. You're just eating less food, which I think a lot of people showed up with. If you were already under the recommended amount of calories, so if I recommended 1,700 and your calories came in at like 1,400 or 1,200 and you did not lose the weight, I got amazing news for you. You just entered a reverse diet. Hey, it's a good thing because we can't go lower because you guys are grown adults. You have real life stressors. You cannot eat like a toddler. I won't allow it. It's not healthy. All right. So you are now going week 1. So I want whatever your average calories were, where if it was like 1,300, 1,200, 1,500, like whatever that number was, if it was lower than your sedentary level already, and you did not lose weight, I want you to eat that calorie range. I want you to add 100 calories. Okay? Does that scare the shit out of anybody or just me? Who's afraid to add 100 calories to your average calorie per day? Sarah. Can I tell you some really cool stories? Jackie added calories and lost weight. Lauren, who should be on this call right now, but she's not, she also did the same thing. She added calories and she lost weight. I've seen it happen probably about, I mean, I should really know this. Probably between 50 to 65% of the time, people who are coming from a chronically underfed state, eat more calories, will actually lose weight and feel better and lose bloating, lose a lot of things by eating more food quality. Now, when you're looking to add the 50 calories or 100 calories, you're like, well, hi, Ryan, I already hit my protein goal. Where am I going to add it from? You could add it from healthy food sources. A reverse diet gets scary when you start adding animal crackers and frosting. That's what I did the first time I did it, and it like did its job. But I also realized, like, man, I'm adding. At the end of the day, I didn't want to chew any more food. I got to like 5 or 6 o'clock. I finished my third or fourth meal of the day. I'm like, I just don't want to eat anymore. I would drink apple juice. I would eat frosting, because like literally, I think a tablespoon of frosting is like 200 calories. I would down peanut butter. Just eat a tablespoon of peanut butter to hit like added fats and carbs, depending on fats or protein, depending on what I was low on. I would use things like that to get out there. I don't want you to do that at first. Okay. Granted, that's when I was pushing to 32 to 3,300 calories per day. And if you're eating whole nutrient dense foods of 3,300 calories, it's a lot of volume. It's a lot of food. And for a kid that's struggled with binge eating, it was not healthy for me. I was done at that point. Okay. That's a crap ton of food. Yeah, you're telling me. I fucking did it for like 4 months. Oh, but now it's really cool because I can go like 3,200 calories actually isn't that much. If I go to a Denny's breakfast, like a typical Denny's breakfast is about 1,000 calories with butter, bacon, cheese, oil, hash browns, about 1,000 calories. If I go and have a beer with a burger, that's over 1,000 calories at almost any restaurant. For dinner, if I eat pizza, if I eat 3 slices, that's about 1,000 calories. So right there, like that's not an unrealistic for a lot of people. Like a buttery breakfast followed by a burger and fries with a beer, followed by pizza or a pasta dish, like a very creamy pasta dish. That I fucking love creamy based pastas. It's definitely easy. It's not hard to get up there. Okay. But if you're eating a lot of whole nutrient dense food, it is a little harder to increase that. So if you're afraid to add calories, I want you guys to look at this. A half of a banana, like a normal size banana, like a half of one, is about 50 calories. So you could start by adding like a half a banana with your breakfast. You could add a half a cup of blueberries, half a cup of raspberries, blackberries, or strawberries, chopped up. If they're strawberries. But a half a cup is about 50 to 80 calories. Okay. Do you think you guys are going to get fatter by eating a half a banana? If you are, you've been watching too much like Paul Saladino. He's a huge fear monger person. Like, they want a sugar that's in a banana? Yeah, well, okay, time on, it's fine. Like, settle down. There's so many people that get so upset at like a fucking banana. I'm like, you're afraid of a banana? But like, and I say it like that now, but like, there was a time when someone's like, bananas like spike your blood sugar. They're dangerous. Don't eat them. Like, I was like, okay, case in point. But if you're also that same person that's like having an old fashioned, all right, now you have no leg to stand on. Like old fashions are like 400 calories if you can get them made in like 90% of bars. If you make them at home, you might have a little bit more control, but they're probably over serving the brandy or bourbon. It's probably going to be closer to 2 ounces, and any tall, not an ounce and a half. 2 ounces of any brown liquor is closer to about 180 to 200 calories right there. It's like a vodka, a very like a just alcohol, like 70 proof alcohol. 1 ounce is roughly 70 to 80 calories. Okay, when you get into bourbons and brandies and whiskeys, they're added flavor, whatever. It's the brownness comes from sugar distilled into it or dissolved into or burnt into it or something, whatever. I don't even know how you distill shit anymore. But you're an ounce and a half into most drink is about 100 to 120 calories. Okay. So if if you're going to be afraid of a banana, you can't be afraid of liquor. Okay, that's what I'm driving at. Anywho, if you have a banana sponsor, now you're really fucked, right? No, I'm just kidding again. Sorry. I used to bartend, by the way. I'm sorry if I ever made your drinks. It's probably terrible. Anywho, sorry, side note. But what I'm saying, you guys, if you're adding foods through really healthy, nutrient-dense foods, you shouldn't be afraid of that. So if you're afraid to add 100 calories, add it from things like blueberries, things like, maybe some sunflower seeds. Like actually, Brazil nuts are like higher in selenium than anything else. Selenium is an amazing mineral that you can't get a lot, and if you're like can really help with energy levels for a lot of people. Like fill the gaps where you're at. So like if you guys want to go get blood work done and find out where you're deficient in, add 100 calories with whatever food that comes with. You're low in iron, eat things that are high in iron. Ironically, I think red meat's like the highest in iron you can get on the market. Sorry, Caitlin. But like if you're afraid to add calories, like you shouldn't, or okay, you should not be afraid to add calories by eating more whole nutrient dense foods. Does that make sense? Is everybody with me with that one? That's content of food. Okay. I read that one already. Yes. Yeah, Emily was in a reverse diet when she first worked with me. Before she got pregnant and lost weight while adding almost 300 calories. Yeah, so Emily added 300 calories and lost weight in the process. Super cool feeling too when you're like adding food and losing weight. It's like, what's going on? This doesn't make sense. It does make sense. The reason it makes sense is because you're putting less stress on your body. That's pretty much the science. Like literally, because you're fueling yourself with food, your body doesn't have to rely on cortisol to be a stress state. So therefore, it's okay letting go of fat mass. Okay, awesome. So if you and you do not have to raise your hand, but if you ate the allotted amount of calories and gained weight, if that's you, I want you to eat the same amount of calories for another week and see how your body responds. Does that sound fair? You guys don't have to respond if you feel bad or you don't want to, talk about it in the group. That's totally fine too. But if you ate the allotted amount of calories on average and you were truthful and everything like that, the only reason I say if you were truthful because if you had like an untracked half pizza that you felt guilty about that you polished away at like 2 a.m. in the morning, well, that's a different conversation we got to have. Or if you had like a pint of ice cream that you didn't add up over the course of like the week or whatever, that's a conversation that we should address and have that conversation. So the really hard part, and you guys, I'm almost done here, and the hard part about a challenge again is I do at my core, at like who I am and what I believe in, I think everybody has to have their own plan. And I think that when you find your plan, it's like a lot of people ask me like, well, what do you eat in a day? What does your wife eat in a day? Like, or, things like that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what I eat in a day. Cause if you ate what I ate in a day, you might get sick. You might feel terrible. But for some reason, like when I post on my Instagram story about my breakfast with the calories, everybody like comments about it. Like, oh, that looks like a good breakfast. Yeah, it was solid. But then if I ever posted something like, oh, this is 742 calories, everyone's like, not for me. I could never do that. Oh, 700 calories 3 times a meal is only 2,100 calories a day. That's totally normal for a lot of people. Okay. Also, ultimately, big picture is getting your calories to, if you look at your BMR calculator, to like that higher level, working out 1 to 2 times a week, that kind of level, so that you're in a super safe place and you don't gain weight. Okay. So with that being said, I believe in individualized nutrition. I believe in individualized plan. It's my roots as a personal trainer. What works for one person, that's why I always hated working out like teams, because I always felt like somebody was getting the shaft. Like when I was training at Grafton High School and I had a whole team to work with, like the linemen were doing the same thing as the running backs, were doing the same thing as a linebacker, same thing as a quarterback, and the same thing as a kicker. Everyone's on the same plan. Like the goal is to get overall better. If that was the best plan, that's exactly what they would be doing at the next level, at college levels and professional levels. And that's not what they do, right? Because everybody should be individualized. Okay. So when your best friend at work goes, oh my God, Nick, you look amazing. What are you doing? Your response should be, my plan, right? That's it. And like you guys can always break out into what you're doing. Like, yeah, like, I'm focusing a little bit more on protein. And, when I notice when I hit a protein goal, like my appetite, I feel fuller longer, which makes me feel good. Like you can give that information, like that's good information for you. Like, hey, when I hit a water goal, I have more energy. I pee more. I feel like I digest food better. I'm actually not constipated anymore when I'm hydrated. Like things like that. I don't know how close you guys are with your besties at work, talking about constipation or bloating and stuff like that. But I want you guys to have so much confidence in like your plan. Like when someone's like, "Oh yeah, I just read this book by Doctor So and So. I'm going to do this 21-day fixed gut health check thing." You're like, "Cool. Hope that helps works for you. I'm good. I'm doing my thing." Because like right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, you guys can be honest in the chat. Because like to be fair, we've only been like working together for about 7 days. If right now there was a friend that came up to you at whatever school drop off, so I'm just like, I like painting pictures for people. If you guys haven't noticed, I want you guys to like insert your brain into a situation. And she comes up like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing this thing. I just lost 20 pounds in the last 20 days. You should totally do that." And I want your guys' response to be like, natural skeptic, what's going on here? Why did you lose the weight? Was it water weight? Was it unrealistic? Did you have to do a shit ton of cardio to get it? Did you feel like you could do this for the long haul afterwards? After the 21 days, did they have an exit plan for you? Did that exit plan involve being healthy, or did it involve a supplement line because it's so unhealthy that they need supplements to fill the gaps because it's so unrealistic for you to live the long term? Oh yeah, like I work with this person and then they're gonna like, we're gonna do a detox and we're gonna reintroduce like this cleanse juice, and then we're gonna have this like every week we're gonna have this one, sauce that we put on everything. Does anybody remember the salt that you shake on things that like you're supposed to lose weight by like putting this powder on top of your food? Anyone ever remember that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Sarah, thank you. I was like, yeah, it's a real thing. Turns out I talked to Mike, one of my coaching friends, and he bought that. He actually got a refund for it, which actually because the company was sued, because it pretty much just made your food taste like shit. I think it was just a bad, so you wouldn't eat as much of it. So if you're sort of like, they literally had like infomercials like, "Put it on your pizza," and the person like eats the pizza and like, "Now you're losing fat." It's like because they made the pizza taste like shit. No one wants to eat shitty pizza. Like good in theory, but not ethical. Um, cool. So that is everything that I have. I'm going to actually end the recording. If you guys do have questions and you are on the Facebook,